Salve Latin 2. This is Magister Hodges, and welcome to, I guess, the first full week of actual online instruction. This week, this will actually be kind of part one of week one. We have a lot of people who are joining us from Dr. Eben's class who's been condensed into mine, so if you are new to this course, then welcome. Before you get started on anything further, I would ask all of our new people or anybody who was originally in the class who has not completed this yet to go back into the plans, look at the first week to Welcome to FVA Latin 2, and simply just follow this learning path here. And it's very simple, a bumbling video that I recorded. Followed by a very simple, which you're about to see, some just signing up for the required accounts for this class, filling out an intro survey, and if you're feeling froggy, to review the vocabulary that we're kind of working from to start out. That was week one, just Thursday and Friday, the first week of school. Week two, or this week, I guess you could call week one the first full week, we're going to start our review. For the weeks of, and I can actually pull it up. I thought that's what this was. Give me 1 second. Very professional operation we're running here. For the first 6 weeks, basically, we're going to be doing a comprehensive review of all Latin 1, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. For this week, we are going to be reviewing the first 3 declensions, all the cases in general, but specifically the nominative, accusative, and dative or ablative. We'll also learn how to form the genitive and dative cases and what they mean roughly, but we're really going to be focusing on sentences containing just nominative, accusative, and ablative case nouns and simplified verbs. But before we really start anything, I need to get a sense of where everybody is. So we're going to take a little bit of a pre-assessment, which is essentially the final exam that I gave to my Latin 1 classes. Do not worry, this will not be put in as your result on this will not be put in as a summative grade. It is merely a instrument that I'm using to see where you are. If you do very well on this, then perhaps you can skip some things down the road, but that does not mean cheat in order to do well on this, even though I think it's kind of hard to cheat on, because this is just showing me what you still know after a whole summer of probably not speaking Latin. I refuse to believe that you guys don't speak Latin on a daily basis, but yeah, either way. How to get to this pre-assessment? Well, you'll see Unit 1 review will be in the planner for this week, and here's my spiel on all of this. But essentially, to get to it, you will click Latin 2 pre-assessment on Google Classroom. If you have already made your account for Google Classroom, then you should be able to just navigate right to it. You will see that it comes that on this Google Classroom assignment, there are 2 parts. One part is the Latin 1 final exam 2021. That is the pre-assessment itself. And it looks like this. It's only a couple pages. And you'll notice there's no Latin text on here. That is because all of the text that you can answer these questions about, you will find them in a separate file. Now let me navigate back here. You will see where it says text for Latin 1 final right here. And essentially you will find 6 different short Latin stories in here. You'll notice they have different point values to them. And I'll explain kind of what those mean here in just 1 second. So basically, you're going to want to go to the pre-assessment, open up the final exam document as well as the text document. Now let's go and look at the final exam. Let me walk you through what you're going to do, or the pre-assessment, sorry. It's still labeled as the Latin 1 final exam because that's what it is. It's divided into 4 parts. The first part will be testing your ability to read and understand a story. you'll choose any of the 6 texts. You'll just choose one of them, A through F, and if we go back here, you'll see that they're all labeled A, B, C, D, E, F. Right? Whoops, where'd I go? All right. So you'll choose one of those 6 stories, and you're going to basically try and break it down and prove to me that you can read what it says. You'll see that right here it says that this is worth 25 points. That is kind of the baseline amount. If we go back, well, let me go back. How do I explain this best? Okay, either way. The baseline amount is 25. This is worth 25 points. It says choose any text A through F. You will pick 3 Latin sentences from the story that you think represent the 3 main ideas communicated in the passage. You will write them here where these lines are. And since you'll be typing, most likely, you can just delete these lines that I have highlighted right here and then type in the 3 sentences in Latin that you think are the main idea of the story. Then you will choose one of the following activities to demonstrate your ability to read. The original assignment, and thus option 1, is an illustration. You will illustrate the story. Your illustration should expand on the 3 most important sentences that you chose and include Latin labels of further details from the rest of the passage. Label with Latin nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositional phrases, basically any Latin. There's no minimum or maximum of labels, changes depending on the story. The illustration can either be one large picture or in comic strip form. Your artistic ability will not determine your grade. It just needs to be clear that you know what's going on. As I scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there is a rubric here at the bottom ranging from novice low all the way up to intermediate low. These are the indicators by which you will be graded throughout the year. And below them you will see a general description of what I'm looking for each. The illustration, obviously, you're doing this on a computer. If you do choose to do the illustration, you may do that on a separate sheet of paper, take a picture of it with your phone, and then insert that image into this box here, or you can insert it separately on Google Classroom. It does not matter to me. Your other options are to either translate, choose 10 lines from the story and translate them to the best of your ability, or to summarize the whole story in your own words. And while you're being asked for a summary, keep in mind that the more detail that you can show me that you understand from the story, the higher your grade will be. So a detailed summary of the whole story is option 3. Yes, so that basically is it. It'll be graded based off this rubric here at the bottom. So make sure to consult these to see what your goal is. All right. Part 2. You have to choose a different text from this presentation here. So if you chose A for number 1, you cannot choose A for part 2. And you will find the 3rd, 8th, 14th, 18th, 25th word. You will write down the Latin word that you are then going to translate into English as best you can. And then over here in this third column, you are going to translate the rest of the sentence that contains that word. I do recognize that with some of these stories, the 3rd and 8th word, for example, or 14th and 18th word may be in the same sentence. You can just copy paste between those if that's the case. Part 3. This does not require you to choose just one story. You can use any of the stories A through F, even ones you've already used. And basically what we're doing here is assessing your ability to identify different grammatical structures in Latin. It says identify and sort 20 total words into the appropriate boxes below. So that means 20 in total. So there are 5 boxes, so you could put 4 in each, and that would be fine. Regardless of how many you put in each box, there should be at least 2 entries into each. So you need at least 2 in each of these boxes in order for it to count for the full 25 points. And lastly, part 4 is assessing your ability to write Latin. I do recognize this is the hardest thing for everybody. I am asking you to do your best. You will not be judged. You will see you have some options for a scenario to write about in Latin, and it will be judged based on this rubric below, going from novice low up to intermediate low, which have some pretty specific criteria for what I'm looking for here. Once again, your score on this will not hurt you. If anything, it can only help you. So I encourage you to do your best. I obviously encourage you not to cheat. Not really sure how you could in a big way. If you do use your notes, that is okay with me. But I do ask that you be honest and let me know, because I think it is impressive that you can figure this out with notes. I don't think that's a bad thing. Most people who are translating Latin are not doing so without the help of a dictionary at the very least. But if you do this off the top of your head, I would like to know that. That demonstrates to me, mastery. So if you do this with the help of something, please let me know. That is not bad. You can still get great credit for having done it with help. If you are able to do it without help, also, please let me know. Either as a note on this document before you submit it, or just kind of in a side message. So that is this. When you are done with, when you are finished with the assessment, you will make sure you submit it on Google Classroom. I'll try and have it assessed by the end of the day that you submit it and return to you, so you kind of know where you're at. The next step for you will be to come back to the planner and to go, let me navigate down here, to the Latin 1 Review Vocabulary Quizlet. I'm asking that you go into review this Quizlet here. Hopefully you have created your account and you're in my class. And you will find that these are all just basically words that are reviewed typically in Latin 1. There's a lot of words in here, like over, I think it's 160, 156. I will ask you to go to the test mode for this, and you're going to go down to options. I am asking you to choose a 20-question test, which I believe is the default. You will do each of these types of questions right here. You'll see all 4 are checked. You can answer with Latin and or English. Those are all fine to me. And create new test. So it should look something like this. I'm asking you to attempt this until you make at least an 80 or higher. And that will kind of get us through the first half of this week. Unfortunately, I've just been incredibly busy this weekend and trying to figure out the best way to do this course. So please check back by Wednesday. I will have the comprehensive review of the first, second, and third declension, how to identify, translate, and form them. I'm sorry this is not done already. I had something made, but it just really is not good, and I do not want to give you guys bad materials. And so that's basically it. Sorry for the long video. If you are seeing this post Wednesday, then there may be a totally separate video. But if you were seeing this before Wednesday, this is all I'm asking you guys to have done so far for this week. There will be one other assignment, like I said, assigned after Wednesday. And that's all. That's all I got. All the best. If you need anything, please, I am just a It's Learning message away. You notice here my inbox is full of automated messages, and that feels lonely. So please, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be sending out a Google Forms survey as well later this week to see what times would be good for online office hours, where you can come and meet with me face-to-face on Google Meet. So until next time, Valete, be well, learn Latin, and all the best. Much love. Valete.